Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of the GVGCast, where we hang out, chat with all of you, and see what's been happening over the past week. I'm your host, Derrick Bittner, and I'm joined by my good friend and partner at GVG, Brandon, the Miracle Man, Miracle himself. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. It's we're still coming off of the Direct slash Indie World slash Sonic 3 trailer, and we've talked pretty extensively about that. So I don't know how much we'll be really talking about it, but yeah, we're the only ones that either not in Britain or at PAX right now.
Yep.
Funny that.
We've got Ash, Steve, and Daniel at PAX, and John's in bed.
As he should be, as he should be. Yeah, it's. I mean, hard not to look at least a little bit with jealousy at everything everybody's doing. Like Daniel shared a picture where he got. I, okay, he got the John got to meet Ben Starr, and now Daniel got to meet Ben Starr. What the hell?
Not only did he meet Ben Starr, he apparently played Mario Party with him. That sounds awesome.
What? Yeah, right.
Oh
I
man.
mean, I feel a little scared, like beating Clive because that man has a revenge quest on him in him. But it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, Ben Starr looks like such a nice dude. So really cool that they got to meet him. But yeah, the jealousy seeps deep right now. I haven't been to PAX West in 2 years now.
Wow,
So I just have to
it's.
remember what it was like, I guess.
I feel like it's been even longer than that for me. I can't remember the last time I went specifically to PAX West. I think I've been exclusively PAX East for quite a while, and my last one was 2020, so it's been a bit.
I've been thinking about
So
maybe trying to make it out to PAX East. For those who don't know, the reason I'm not at PAX West is because my daughter's birthday is on the 2nd. Um,
it's
and
exciting.
I know, it's crazy. Last time at PAX, there was a Mario Direct happening that I was watching from my phone, and my wife was in the hospital bed right next to me.
It's like, well, we might as well watch this while we're waiting to go into labor. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, why not? Gosh, oh no. You know what was I was thinking like what was happening for me while I was waiting for Amy to have Kai. And Kai was born in 2020. His birthday is November 4th. So I was waiting on election news.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, there is two very special kinds of stresses going on that day. I'll tell you what.
There's some whiplash too.
Seriously,
This is
I
the
had to.
happiest day of my life and could be the worst day of my life. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It was kind of up in the air there, but fortunately we're okay on both fronts, and it's crazy to me to think that Kai is going to be 4 come November.
That's insane, man. Like I've been looking at pictures of Ella. Like I do this every couple of months where I just kind of go through my phone. I think I have over 900 pictures of her currently.
Yep.
But it's crazy to me how much she's changed, like just in this short time span. Um, I don't even know how to process it. Like there's changes in her face, her teeth are growing in right now. She's learned how to stand in the last 2 weeks. Um, they tell you it goes by fast. It's barely been 1 year, and good lord, they're not kidding.
Mm-mm. They are not. It's crazy to me just how much he's changed, just even just year to year, and just how much development can happen in the blink of an eye. Like it's just so quick.
Yeah, I
Uh,
she was on the couch with me like a couple days ago, and last week I got that sectional. So we've been enjoying that. It lets us all be on the couch together, which is really nice.
yeah.
Um, so she was sitting across from me and like leaning up against Michaela. So I just started doing peekaboo, right? Just doing dad
Uh,
stuff. And then like two or three peekaboos in, guess what she did?
She do the.
She did peekaboo, and I was like, "What the heck? Where did this come
Yep.
from?"
She's learning. She's learning. I spoke about this before. Kai loves watching YouTube videos going over letters and numbers, and now he loves videos that show like how to do the letters and whatnot. And this kid, he knows all of his letters, both uppercase and lowercase, and he is fascinated right now by cursive. The boy's teaching himself
Wow.
cursive, and we have old workbooks from the Amy's previous kids, and he's like tracing over it and getting it down. Like, and he holds a pencil better than me,
That's crazy.
isn't it?
Sorry, I had to turn my fan off.
Okay, I was like,
I'm leaving.
where you
Goodbye.
going, Brett?
My people
I was like, oh
need
man,
me.
he's.
Um,
I
it's insane, dude. Like, I'm starting to realize how much Ella just picks up just by being around me.
observation, yeah.
So like she's obsessed with remotes and controllers. Not only does she pick up the controllers, she holds it properly. She will go out of her way to hold it like this and start pressing buttons, and then she'll look up at the TV to see if something happens. Like, this kid is
Wow.
aware that the button does something, even if she doesn't know what, but she presses a button and looks up to see what happened. And I'm like, this is terrifying for me.
Right? I mean, well, here's the weird thing for me is that Kai hasn't shown a lot of interest in gaming.
Really?
Real. Yeah, not really. He likes Mario. He loves Mario, loves Mario Kart and all that stuff. But he also doesn't let me use the TV. Like, the TV is his. He wants his videos up of letters and whatnot. And because I'm working a lot and trying to just use that time when I'm with him to get other stuff done for the channel, he just that's what he sees. So now, because I've been doing a lot of writing, he comes over to me. He wants to work on the laptop. And so you're right about the whole picking up thing, where he'll pick out the A, B, C, D, all that stuff, and then at some point he'll just like type. It's all gibberish, but he's still typing as if he knows what's going on. He's using the mouse to figure out what clicks what and all that stuff. So yeah,
That's
they
crazy.
observe and figure out. And I just didn't game enough in front of him, which is weird. I wouldn't have thought that would be a problem, but there it is.
I mean, back when I guess I do game a lot in front of Hella because, you know, with Michaela's work schedule, she's often just with me. And one of the only things I can really do when it's just us in the living room is maybe turn on a game and see if she'll let me play.
Mm-hmm.
When she was just 2 months old, Super Mario RPG, the remake, came out. And I have vivid memories of her, this little thing, just sitting in my lap, watching me play Mario RPG. And I wonder how much that may have affected her.
It's hard to say, but I'm amazed that Kai knows all the Mario characters. Like, and even the one, like, he has a bunch of the Mario Kart Hot Wheels, and the ones he doesn't have, he'll name. So like, he has just the Peach Mobile. That's Daisy, because he doesn't have a Daisy Hot Wheel and doesn't have a Wario Hot Wheel. So one of his Luigi's, a very specific Luigi, is Wario now, and just that sort of idea. So he just can have all of them. So he can name every single one. It's incredible. Like,
That's
Shy
amazing.
Guy and Dry Bones.
Wow. Like, just not main character stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's not even just the mains. You know, Shy Guy, Dry Bones. Just if he's heard it, he's good. He knows it.
It makes me curious, like, what Ella's interests will be. Because, like,
Mhm.
I mean, even though she mimics what I do, I guess that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to stick.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm even starting to notice how she engages with certain TV shows. Like, I put on Blue's Clues for her all the time. I was raised on Blue's Clues, so it's accessible to me. So I'm gonna turn it on. Um, and in the last like 5, 6 days, I've noticed that she engages with it very differently. Like she's
Hmm.
actually invested. Um, or she'll like dance when the music plays, and I'm like, what is happening? How much evolving are you doing right now?
She's picking it up. She's learning it, and I wish I could get Kai into other stuff like that. But again, I was able to put on. I want him to watch traditional stuff, but it's been all this YouTube. It's been all those YouTube letter stuff. And it's
Sure.
frustrating on that end because I want something different, but I want something with a story or something like that. But it's just not happening. But
For me, like
um,
if you can make it happen, like Blues Clues and Mr. Rogers are two very quiet, calm shows.
mhm.
If you can make it work, do
If
it.
I could, but my God, he just goes nuts when I try to change it. He just does. He does not like that's. He is stubborn. He is stubborn, so that makes it tough.
Kid knows what he
Um,
wants.
yeah, but he gets into certain ones. He'll have a fixation where he watches. He watched Bluey for a bit. He watched PJ Mask, and he can name all the characters. He knows it. He picks it up. He just that's not what he's interested in. It's not what he wants to watch. So it's like I I don't I want to let his taste sort of evolve naturally, and I figure as he gets
Mhm.
older, I can sort of like, hey, check this out. That's what I'm sort of waiting for, rather than just pop it on. That sort of thing. We'll see.
Marathon Max in live audience chat says I've gotten my 5-year-old and 2-year-old watching Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, I don't know if that's the right age for
Yeah,
for me.
exactly. No, I'm like thinking about it. It's like I think I need to kind of be a little bit older because he imitates. He imitates. So
Yeah,
I don't need him hitting anymore.
even original Dragon Ball in some ways would arguably be worse. There's
Oh, we don't
there's
need him
some.
learning how to do pat pat.
Oh, please no pat pat. Oh
Oh
man.
my God. Um, the crazy thing is that and will be that so Amy actually was able to like we both been searching, but she was the first one to actually get a second job or get a job be outside of just the work from home stuff that we both do. So she started doing that this week, which is certainly helping out on that front. But it's also like, oh, I'm in full stay at home dad mode now. So it's like that's definitely a bit more of a shift, which is why I'm doing a lot more writing and finding time to edit. Is definitely going to be the tricky part, but you gotta start going to school next week.
Oh,
So yeah, well, preschool, like preschool, they're sort of just getting him ready, but basically just from 9 till about noon, he's there. Which is like, okay, lock in. I got to get
that's
some work done.
that's 3 hours every day. That's nice.
Oh, 3 hours, 3 days a week, but I'll take it. The crazy thing for us was we went to meet his teacher for this year and
Hmm.
talking about the all the lineup and whatnot, and then she happened to mention that one of the other rooms that we're meeting now were a 5 day a week class, and we're like, 5 day a week? That we didn't know about that. Nobody informed us about that. And all the other parents are also like, wait, there's a 5 day a week thing? So yeah, it's like, next year, next year, 5 day a week. That'll help out a lot.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to figure out like what we're gonna do with Ella's daytime care, because
Mm.
I don't work full time exactly, but I work in a lot of places, and that makes my schedule very sporadic. Um,
Mm.
Oftentimes it means I will have things fall in my lap without any time to get it done, so I just got to do it right now. Um, and as you might have guessed, that doesn't work too well when you have a child.
No, it was lead to some very late nights.
Yeah, it's already been tough. And Michaela goes back to school daily, like here in a couple weeks, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's like, you figured things out, that's for sure. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a tough couple of weeks or even months
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It's childcare is rough. Like it was really hard getting back into the GVG swing or getting to the swing of making videos and stuff. Um, that for a while for Kai, as they demand attention. He still demands attention, not as constantly as before, but it's there.
Yeah, Ella will go maybe like an hour, hour and a half, just kind of rolling around on the floor, picking up toys, just investigating the world. And then, she's had enough and she's ready for daddy. So
Yeah.
it's also like difficult too, because like um, I'm primarily a video editor, so like I have I have to be in flow state to work.
Mm.
And one of the worst things you can do to me specifically is get me into flow and then interrupt me, because I will not get back in. It's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned with my writing, I've learned how to sort of break that. At least allow myself to get back into the flow as easily as I can. Or as best I can, because I've learned how to force it. It's just like, okay, I got some time. Oh, you need something? Okay, we'll do that. Okay, I got some time. Just go for it as best I can. It's much harder with editing. I can't imagine doing it with editing. Writing, at least you can just get into the next sentence and make that next step.
Yeah. I'm sure I will figure it out, or something will change in my brain chemistry. We'll find out. Um, but in my immediate future, though, I am looking forward to playing Zelda here in a few weeks.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
just got
That's
that.
it's looking. Got that new trailer. I haven't watched the full thing. I think both of us were like, I've seen enough.
Yeah, I was telling Derek before the show that I kind of had to watch it with my eyes glazed over. Like I wanted to know some things, but I don't want to see the things. Is kind of where I'm
Mm.
coming from. So I didn't really absorb most of it. I just saw, well, I guess before we get into the conversation, is there anyone here who doesn't want to know about Zelda?
Yeah, I know some people probably avoided that trailer, so we won't get into specifics. I suppose I think
Yeah.
it's better for that. That being said, there is a demo at PAX. We'll likely have gameplay and impressions from the other guys talking about it. I don't know what's in the demo though. Um, and yeah, it really is just gameplay spoilers. So it's one of those things like, how much do you want
Oh
to know
yeah.
about figuring things out? Um,
That's and for a game like Zelda, that's what I don't want to see, right? Like
mm,
that moment to moment experience and discovering things for the first time, that's what I consider a spoiler for myself, cuz like that's
yeah,
the part I'm looking forward to.
and I did see the map, like the overall map, and not specifics of the map, but just here's the map, and it's big. It's much bigger than you would have thought.
That's crazy. Like we've never had a 2D Zelda that's quite so open and expansive. Um
I would estimate it's probably about twice the size of Link to the Past.
that's
That's a
nuts.
rough estimate. Like I could be very wrong about that. Just looking at it, that's
Link
my
to the Past's
general impression.
map as a Super Nintendo game is impressive for that time. It's still kind of impressive now. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm really looking forward to getting to explore all of that. Uh, Literally in less than a month. It's coming up fast.
Yeah. Oh God, there's so much coming out, dude. Like it is nuts how much is coming. And I don't know how I'm gonna play it. That's the tricky part. Even with Zelda, like I don't know how I'm gonna play it. It's tough. Um, so much was just shadow dropped. Uh, and yeah, as Denim points out in our live audience, Emio dropped, and I'm quite curious about that because there's reviews out there like this game's fantastic, one of the best of the year. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's I just finished The Girl Who Stands Behind. I literally finished it yesterday. I was
Oh
like,
wow,
I'm hearing Emio's incredible. I'm just gonna power through this, and I'm glad I did. Girl
that's
Who
good.
Stands Behind really sticks the landing. Um, it's it's kind of a slow burn, and so is Missing Air. It
Mhm.
takes a really long time for those plot elements to really start falling into place and for you to feel invested. But it does pay off if you can hold through.
I wonder if
um,
Emmy is the same way, which is why they released it in the way they did.
I, I was talking.
Those with those demos.
I was talking to that about talking to Steve about this. That I think that kind of chapter by chapter drop is a really interesting way to do something like Famicom Detective Club. Because there's a Satellaview Famicom Detective Club, which would have worked in a similar way where everyone's kind of playing the same part of the game at the same time, because of the way the Satellaview games worked. Um, and I think in a similar way to like watching shows week to week, there's that community conversation that happens that I think is really cool for a game like Famicom Detective Club. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
the episodic format done right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly how I would put it. Um,
it builds up the conversation. Honestly, I it's hard to tell how effective it is, but it feels effective. This feels like some of the best advertising Nintendo's ever done for one of their games, especially for one of their lesser known games, where it's just there's the mystery, there's the reveal, there's uh, learning more about the game. Here's a taste of the game. Here's the next taste of the game. Just breadcrumbs all the way till the release, and really generating that interest.
it's also good for memory. I struggle with memory personally.
Mhm.
So if I like play a game or watch a show in just one big burst, there's a good chance a lot of those little details are gonna disappear. Like I'm gonna forget them. But when you space it out over time, play a little bit a week, those individual moments are more meaningful and they stay with you longer. Uh, so there's a benefit there too.
Absolutely, absolutely. But man, um, speaking of playing things, I made a point to play Haunted Castle Revisited last night, and it's short. Like I beat it in 45 minutes. It's not a long game at all, but the arcade game's also not long. The only reason that game will take a while is because it's freaking hard as hell and doesn't play great. But I, this is what remakes should be in a lot of cases.
I love
Take a
hearing that.
game that sucks and make it good. As Haunted Castle was one of the worst Castlevania games I played in that when I played all of them. It is just bottom tier.
Hmm.
Um, uh, they bring it in here, redo the graphics while still being somewhat reminiscent of them. Like it still feels arcadey. This doesn't feel SNES. It doesn't feel NES. It feels like a better version of the arcade release. Gorgeous backgrounds at times, and it basically hits all the same notes except a little bit more stylized. Like there used to be a bone dragon you had to beat, and you beat the bone dragon, and all of a sudden stairs would appear. Well, now you beat that bone dragon, and the bone dragon turns into the stairs that you use. Never seen that before. That's cool. That's nice. Uh, level. That's nice. Just pushing things forward for the game and just making it interesting as far as level design. Um, they they took the bosses and just made them so much more interesting, especially the final two. There's stuff in here for one of the bosses that I've never seen before, and the Dracula fight is so much better than the original arcade version. It is incredible. Like it's not hard, but it's really cool how they took the core concept of the arcade game and made it so much better.
That's really cool. I feel like bad games get ignored too often. Like
Mhm.
bad games should be re-released just as much as good games should.
Yeah. I,
Whether
I
or not they
agree.
get fixed, like there's a preservation aspect of that too. Like, yeah, this game's but you should remember that it's butt, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing in a similar vein. I played Shadow of the Ninja as part of NSO Game Club, and it's fine, nothing great, nothing memorable. But I'm hearing the new game is actually kind of cool, where it's sort of like a split. Like the new elements they added is now like uh, a fighting game per part beat 'em up. It's just way more interesting than the original ever was. So I'm like, cool. It's also, I think, just released, so it's also getting buried because there's so much coming out. And there's,
Yeah,
I wish Shadow of the Ninja got a little bit of at least a highlight so people could see it, but because it's getting not really a lot of not a lot of advertisements out there, but it's still good
there's a
apparently.
blessing and a curse to the Nintendo Direct format, where they do these shadow drops, and then anything else that had planned release dates just get buried.
Yep.
And
Because all
that
of a sudden,
sucks.
here's Castlevania, here's Pizza Tower, here's Peglin, here's God, I forget how much other stuff was shadow dropped. So
you
easy to forget.
That said, you will be happy to know that I did pick up Castlevania. Um,
Ooh, have you played these games before?
no, this Castlevania is a large kind of gap in my game history. And you talk about it so much, and then this release happened. I was like, today's my day. I'm jumping
Welcome
in.
to three of the best games in the series.
That's what I heard, and that's why I bought them.
And having I had since that time I tried out a little bit of each of the other games as well. They make the touch mechanic of Dawn of Sorrow so much better rather than have to draw. Like, imagine a DS, you beat a boss, oh crap, I have to do a seal, which requires the stylus in order for me to do a symbol.
Oh,
And if you don't do the symbol correctly or quick enough, the boss resurrects and you have to take out its last third of its health again. It sucks.
oh
It's a
God.
big pain in the butt. Mm. It's the one big blemish to that game. But with this new version, it's now a QuickTime event where it's like
Oh,
each one it corresponds to a different button. So now it's like instead of a V, it's XBY or XBA
I
on the
feel
Switch.
like that's actually more tactile than just drawing it yourself.
Yeah, I think so too. It doesn't take you out of it, and
Hmm.
it's much nicer. And yeah, as far as the other games, I mean, Portrait of Ruin is fantastic on its own. And Order of Ecclesia is my favorite the Castlevania of all time. Has the translation they're using is has a few um,
Boo boos.
uh, mistranslations, but
Oh, okay.
it's like spelling errors mainly. That's okay. It's still excellent.
So I've been
So,
curious. I was going to ask you in our work chat yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I'll just ask you on stream. We'll just make it a talking point. Uh, so as someone who largely doesn't know Castlevania, hasn't really played them, I have played one. I've played Super Castlevania 4. I love that game. It's great.
yeah,
Um,
excellent.
but everything else is kind of a big mystery to me. Where do I start?
Oh, are you talking gameplay or are you talking like, well, basically, do you
It
only want to, are you only doing the Dominus collection? I guess that is the focus right now. Or do you want to try out the others as well?
I was planning to also pick up Anniversary Collection and Advanced Collection, but I didn't want to buy them all at the same time.
One thing I'll recommend, I don't know, I have no idea when it's going to come to Switch, if it will come to Switch, because it was a very much a Sony deal. Um, right now on PS4,
Hmm.
the Castlevania, I forget what it's called, the dual collection that has Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, I think is like less than $5. Pick
Oh,
that up.
oh yeah, I'll
That's
do that.
yeah, that is an amazing deal right
Okay,
off the bat.
I was really confused because I was looking through.
Requiem, that's it, egg roll.
I was on Wikipedia trying to figure out what all the games were and what was actually available on Switch, and I noticed that Symphony of the Night was not there, and I was like, "How do I play that game?" I didn't even know it was
Yeah,
on PS4.
yeah. It's PS4 because Sony specifically helped fund that version.
Gotcha.
So they
Okay.
got exclusivity on it. I mean, it's nice that it's there, and I believe this version of Symphony of the Night is so it's nice because you get the English translated version of Rondo of Blood that was part of the PSP collection.
Hmm.
Um, it's the original version. It just has an English dub and translations and whatnot. So that's great. But because it's also pulling off for the portable collection, it's the redub of Symphony of the Night. So you're not going to get when you play that version the cheesy version of what is a man and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
However, you do get Patrick Seitz as Dracula. That's awesome.
I think that's a trade I'm willing to make.
Yes. Patrick Seitz, I don't know if you've ever watched it, but he was also Dio in JoJo. So
Perfect.
he's a real good Dracula. So,
So would you suggest starting with the Requiem collection then?
it depends. Are you more interested in classic Castlevania or Metroidvania Castlevania?
I think at this point I'm more interested in the Metroidvania side because I've never touched it. So like I just want to know
Okay.
what it is.
Okay. In that case, you don't need to play Rondo of Blood, but Rondo of Blood does lead directly into Symphony of the Night.
Is that classic style?
Rondo is classic style. Symphony of the Night is the
Is-
first Metroidvania.
Right. Okay. I'd probably start
Rondo
with,
is, in my
Rondo.
opinion, the best of the classic Vanias.
Yeah, that's all I needed to hear because like I said, I
It-
loved Super Castlevania 4, so I'm
Yeah,
fine starting there.
You don't have the range of motion or anything like that, but in
Mhm.
that case, yeah, Castlevania Requiem, and you can play the advanced games. Then you can play DS, Dominus Collection.
That's what I'll do.
And if you're still interested, if you get interested in classic Castlevania, that's when you get the Anniversary Collection.
Yeah, I think I'll get those last because as much as I love Super Castlevania 4, that game kicked my butt the first time I played it.
It's tough, and the thing that fortunately those games have is rewind. You have a little bit more.
Oh, praise the heavens!
Yeah, there's like save states and whatnot. They go easy on you. That being said, one recommendation I will make
Mhm.
is before you play Portrait of Ruin, play Castlevania Bloodlines because it kind of picks up a lot of the plot threads from Castlevania Bloodlines as far as the characters.
Which collection is Bloodlines in?
It's in Anniversary Collection, but it's the only Genesis Castlevania, so it's also an NSO.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it's really easy to take care of. But,
Great.
Yeah,
I knew you were the right person to ask. I was like, I'm going to plot my way through this franchise.
yeah. I mean, I played in just release order when I played all the games, so you can
Mhm.
definitely see it. But there's, you don't need to go into the stinkers, and with Circle of the Moon, I feel it's a bit stiff. Still fun, but a bit stiff in how it plays. With Harmony of Dissonance, it's good, but it's a bit easy and a bit samey to what Symphony of the Night did. Aria of Sorrow is where it really kicks off, and then you have the DS collection building off of Aria, where it just gets better and better and better.
That's exciting. I don't have a ton of experience with the Metroidvania genre outside of like Metroid. um, so I feel like in order to be a true fan of the genre, I should probably play the Vania part.
It helps. It's different because it adds RPG elements to it. So it's very much unlike Metroid in that way, because you get levels, you get equipment.
Honestly, that's more appealing to me.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's really good. It has that RPG aspect where if you get stuck on something, go off and fight some monsters, earn some money to buy better equipment or more potions, or just get levels, and bam, you're good to go.
So I did see some entries on the Wikipedia list that made me turn my head.
Boy,
There's a Nintendo 64 game.
you did. You don't know about, wow, you are out of the series if you don't know about Castlevania 64.
I didn't know it existed.
Wow. So Castlevania 64 is not great, but I think overly maligned. The worst part of Castlevania 64 is that it has a terrible first level. First level is so misrepresentative of what the rest of the game is like, because you just end up in this massive malaise of forest and zombies are constantly coming at you. It doesn't give you a break. It's just constant. As soon as you get to the castle, it feels more like classic Castlevania in 3D. There's still some BS parts and unfortunate moments, like if you want to grab a ledge and you want to keep holding on to that ledge, you got to hold down the button. You let go of that button, you're dropping. It's not great. It isn't great. But there's also like a sequel, prequel / remake on the N64 of Castlevania 64 called Legacy of Darkness. And it basically takes, it's a brand new game featuring a lot of the same levels, except for a few different ones where you play as a different character before the events of the Castlevania 64. But after you beat it with him, you get another character that you play as, for where you get a gun, but just rescuing kids. So it's a bit shorter, but it's you're searching a lot of places under limited time, so you might want to use a guide for it. But once you beat that, you then unlock the protagonist and their stories from Castlevania 64, just playing better.
Oh,
The Legacy of Darkness really is kind of the way to go.
so I mean, it essentially boils down to being an enhanced port, but
Yeah, pretty much.
okay. I was curious if that one was ever going to get re-released anywhere.
If it ever gets re-released, it's either going to be, a lot of people now are asking or hoping that we might see a Castlevania 3D collection, which would include the N64 games plus the PS2 games. Because you got Lament of Innocence, which is decent. It's fine. It does the job. And then Curse of Darkness. And Curse of Darkness is actually very good.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a lot of aspects of more Metroidvania type.
I see people mentioning the Lords of Shadow trilogy. I did play the demo for Mirror of Fate on 3DS way back when.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness. I have a soft spot for the Lords of Shadow. It's a completely new canon. It has a lot of references to the classic games.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Also, great voice cast where I think it's Robert Carlyle voices the Gabriel Belmont, the main character. This is the only one I can think. Well, first of all, yes, Pick Miner. It was developed by Mercury Steam, all three games, who went on to make Dread, but not as good as Dread. I'll put it right out there. Dread is definitely their best. But Robert Carlyle, did you ever see? Oh God, that show on ABC where it like had all the live action Disney characters in a town. It was, what was it? Once Upon a Time or something like that.
I haven't watched it myself, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, he's a character in that where he was, I think, Rumpelstiltskin, and that's kind of where most people would know him from.
Okay.
This was before he became that character. He was just in a bunch of stuff otherwise. But then there's also Patrick Stewart in the cast, and he's awesome.
Oh, well, yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the Lords of Shadow games is that they have terrible beginnings. Like, they start off far too slow, far too limited. But once they finally give you your tool set, they become excellent. Lords of Shadow 2, I think, is in my top 10 of Castlevania games.
That's actually an opinion I hold of Final Fantasy 16. Not that I find the opening slow necessarily. It's the limited moveset. Like, they hold so much away from you that you don't really get an idea of what the game's actually like.
It's a bit too slow fed.
Yeah. Samus loses too many of her powers.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that's sort of your Castlevania history, Brandon.
I'm grateful for it because now I know where to go. I'll right after the show's done, I'll pick up the Requiem collection on PS4, and once I'm done playing another game I'm playing on my PlayStation right now, I will start that.
Hmm. I'm actually going through something else right now where I'm seeing a sale. I'm like, do I want to do this? Because I saw that the entirety of the King of Fighters series is on sale for like 80% off
That's a
on a lot
crazy
of,
deal.
yeah, like you can get a lot of the early games for like $4. It's
Wow.
like, huh. And of course, they got the new game also on sale for a ton. You got the gorgeous King of Fighters 13 um, on Switch, PS4, Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. All of them. You can get find all these for an incredible price, and it's tempting because they're like story based. So it's like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to go through all the arcade modes of each of the games and build up and actually I'm kind of excited for City of the Wolves. So it'd be a fun way to, learn more about these characters. I don't know if Fatal Fury itself is on sale. I gotta keep an eye on that. But then they also have Marvel vs. Ultimate Marvel 3 on sale on Steam, along with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which might be good to pick up now because Max has that whole mod coming out eventually, which will make it
Right.
way better. So now I could get it for, I think it's like $7.
That's that's a good deal, and knowing that's coming makes it way more valuable.
Yes, it does. It also helps that I have to play those games eventually because of the Mega Man uh, uh, series that I'm doing.
There you go. It's too bad
So,
Mega Man wasn't playable in a Monster Hunter. I was like, dang, I almost had him.
yeah, if he was actually in there playable and not just a costume, you would have had me.
Nope, just
I would have
Calicos.
played it. I would have played it if it was like just randomly, here's Mega Man as a hunter.
You can play as Ryu, kinda. Complete with
Oh,
Hadoken and Shoryuken emotes. It's actually amazing.
that's really good.
The Hadoken emote is an actual attack and it does 1 damage.
Oh
Just
no,
just one.
that's far less powerful than when it came to what is it, Mega Man 1? I think Mega Man X1 was
Hmm.
with Hadoken. Shoryuken was in Mega Man X2.
Oh,
So
egg roll in our patron chat says Mega Man's in Frontier in Japan. Well, that's a very hard game to get a hold of these days. So I'm not going to hold Derek to that.
I was not listed, so I because I looked at it, but man, maybe I did miss something, but
Well,
yeah.
Frontier is the MMO, so
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely not being able to play that.
I would not suggest that as your first Monster Hunter. Don't even know if I would suggest it to most Monster Hunter fans. It's a wildly
Yikes.
different beast. It's not a bad game. It's just a very different game.
Makes sense.
um,
Oh goodness.
well, do we want to hop into some patron topics?
Yeah. Uh, I don't know if we have any on hand at the moment. Let's take a look.
Oh yeah, I got to scroll up. I'm scrolling up. Hang on. I should have copied these. I didn't think about it.
Did we get, okay, we did get some. So,
Yeah, I got
um,
one in mind.
okay,
This one's
go
from
for it.
GCM of Chaos, asking, so going conspiracy theory mode after the Sonic 3 trailer, are they hiding one more character, and who do you think it is? Obviously, the two most popular choices are Amy or Rouge. So I've been thinking a lot about Sonic 3, and a lot of people on Twitter are actually thinking about, or have similar thoughts that I do. We see that one shot in the trailer where Sonic gives Eggman another one of his quills, and I'm like, that's Metal Sonic, baby.
Hmm.
He's making
I'm,
Metal
I'm,
Sonic.
I'm telling you I really do think the final thing they're going to have to fight is Metal Sonic. It's going to be a Godzilla Kong situation.
100%. I I'm not sure if he'll be the villain of Sonic 3 or if they'll do like BioLizard or whatever. But part of me is like, could be Metal Sonic.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the thing is Metal Sonic enough to be carry a role as a villain, especially as they weren't sure if Carrie was going to come back for this one. So I think that's why it's written as it is, where Shadow is like, it isn't Robotnik freeing Shadow. Shadow just sort of frees himself.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's a tough call. Like Gerald being alive too is also just a weird wrench thrown in that plot. Like, that could also
Yeah.
make Metal Sonic happen. Who knows?
Maybe Maria will survive.
That'd be crazy, dude.
I know, right?
Um,
Really throw things.
as far as Amy or Rouge are concerned, I have a feeling like Amy will not be in the movie. I feel like if Metal Sonic is not the villain of this movie, he'll be the villain of the next one, and Amy will be in that movie.
Yeah.
Because that just makes sense, right? Like, they were introduced at the same time, so just do it again.
It's just, what do you do with Shadow while that's all happening? Because I can't imagine him being part of the trio like that is. So maybe he'll work for the government and take care of that stuff like he does in the games. I don't know.
It's hard to say. I feel like if we get to Sonic 5, God forbid, if we go that far, maybe that's Sonic Heroes, and maybe we call it a day there.
I think I threw out the theory when we had our discussion of put Metal Sonic, Silver Sonic, and Mecha Sonic in the movie together, and have the final boss, as it were, be Metal Madness. Because have them they've come together, and that's how you get Metal Madness.
That's another. There's a lot of ways they could take this now. Famicom Detective Club says there's a line of Amy merch and she was the focus of Murder of Sonic. There's no way she's not in it. I mean, you could be right. There are some shots in the trailer that do feel like somebody got erased from the footage. That's happened before. It's very common for Marvel movies to do that.
Yeah.
So with a CG heavy movie like this, it would be just as easy as pressing the hide button on a layer and just rendering the same trailer out. So maybe. I feel like you got to be careful how many characters you introduce at once. Because even in Sonic 2, as much as I loved Sonic 2, it kind of felt like Tails didn't have much of a reason to be in the movie. He kind of got shafted in favor of Knuckles. That's just my opinion, though. Like, some of you may think that Tails was great in the movie. I didn't think he was bad. I just think he got Luigi'd to some degree.
Some degree. Although, to be fair, he also got to be more of the movie than Luigi did in the Mario movie.
Also true. But yeah, I guess that's kind of that's my 50-cent theory. There you go.
Oh man. I think I'll go with Richard Herrera's, even though I'm still racking my brain on this one. They asked, what is the out of left field trilogy or game series that is getting the collection treatment in your ideal world? I don't know if it's out. See, most Capcom things I don't think are out of left field anymore, but I really do want that Resident Evil Origins collection. Like classic Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, I think would be awesome.
Has there never been ports of just the OG PS1 versions?
I mean, it might be on PSN through PS3, but not like on new systems.
I feel like
even on GameCube, we got the remake of Resident Evil 1, and then we got straight ports of 2 and 3.
I feel like there were just PC ports on GOG. I thought that happened.
Yes, they're happening now, just straight PC ports. But why isn't that on console as well? Why is it only on GOG? So it could happen. That's why I'm saying that's like it's not out of left field. But
I got you. It would be weird to just leave them there, right? Like the same thing with the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. Yeah, I can't imagine they stay there forever, or stay just there forever. Hopefully, they stay there forever.
Hopefully.
Let's see.
I'm seeing people mention Sonic Advance. Yes, Sonic Advance would be really cool. Xenosaga.
Are
3
we
Xenosaga games would be awesome.
are we staying strictly trilogies, or can this be holistic?
It could be more. I think. I
Um,
think. I think. Richard said it could be more than that.
well, Richard is only asking this to fish a Monster Hunter answer out of me. Um, I want a 1, 2, 3, and 4 generation set because
Ooh.
Capcom loves releasing all their old games in every other series, but Monster Hunter is the one that has never gotten preservation, and I think that's a shame.
Mhm.
If all these old Street Fighters and fighting games can get online modes, I feel like it's not a huge ask to just make those available. I mean, I would
Did
go
you
as
call it the
far.
Monster Hunter Generations collection?
I feel like you'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you did that, but it would be funny. um, but yeah, I'd certainly want to see that. Also, Richard has owned up to the fact that he was fishing for it, so I
Of
see you.
course.
I see through you. Um, as far as other collections are concerned, I agree on Sonic Advance. I saw someone mention Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Why can't I play those games on Switch? That's really
Good
weird.
question. That is a very good question.
Um, Mario Sports Collection is an interesting one.
Sona collection makes a lot of sense. Having one in both versions of two, or two part one, two part two. Uh, Edron, Drakengard. That's a great one. Drakengard 1, 2, 3. Especially Drakengard
Oh
3
yeah,
getting better better tech, so it doesn't have the crazy slowdown. It always does.
make those accessible. And that's
Ooh,
the
Mito, Monolith crossover collection. Namco Cross Capcom plus the 2 Project Cross Zone games. Yeah, that's a good one.
oh, that's a good idea. I wouldn't.
'Cause we've never gotten Namco Cross Capcom.
And just having Project Cross Zone on consoles and unleash it from
That
the
would look gorgeous.
3DS.
Yeah,
uh,
that'd be nice.
trying to think of some other ones.
Hmm. Um, it's not necessary because we've already gotten the first one re-released, but I'm just gonna pop it out there. Valkyria Chronicles Rescue 2's only okay. Rescue it from the PSP, and for the love of God, translate Valkyria Chronicles 3. Have you played those games, Brandon?
I have only played a little bit of one, but I really
Mhm.
enjoyed what I did play. It is something I want to go back to.
So it's with one, have the basic war. With two, it's after the war, sort of like a school setting, which is why people didn't quite get into it. Plus, it was released on the PSP, so we never got three.
Hmm.
Three takes place during the war again, except it focuses on a Black Ops team who are doing basically the dirty work of the military
Oh,
against the invading army. That is way more interesting. And then you
cool.
have four. Then four is the group from set during the same war who are actually invading the invading country in order to put a stop to them that way. I never finished four, but I want to. But my God, that'd be cool to get Valkyria 1, 2, and just get 3 translated at the very least and brought over.
Add it to the list. I'm gonna throw one out that's gonna make people cry because it'll never happen. But give us that Mother 1 through 3 collection.
That'd be wonderful.
They've been
It won't
celebrating
happen.
Mother's anniversary with tons of cool merch and stuff, but it's always the games that just get shafted.
It's Mega Man hears you. There's all the merch and all that stuff, but God forbid we put any games.
Poor Mega Man. Every time I see
Yep.
Mega Man get added to something that isn't just a new Mega Man game, I just feel like Ash loses a part of his soul.
No, I've lost a part of my soul because I have that stipulation where if Mega Man is playable, the character of Mega Man is playable, that game is on my list. God damn it, he's in Funko Fusion.
Oh no.
Yeah. The
Well,
only thing that gives me hope is that apparently it's done by ex-developers at Traveler's Tales, so it might be good.
I feel like the Funko branding is doing that game a disservice because looking at the actual game itself, it actually seems kind of interesting. Like they're doing stuff with the actual properties. It's just it just has the unfortunate connection to Funko.
I hate Funkos so much. They are so generic.
Yeah, I don't like there are Monster Hunter Funkos, and I didn't even buy them. Me, the
Yeah.
guy who
I
barely
tell
has any Monster Hunter merch, I won't buy them.
yeah. 'Cause on one hand, it's cool that these lesser known characters are getting figures and whatnot. What sucks is that they're just the same mold. Just
Yeah, they don't have a lot of uniqueness. That said, the Monster Hunter ones too. Rathalos is just Rathalos. He just has those weird Funko beady eyes, but
I
it's his
hate
own
those.
mold though. Um,
That's good at least.
uh,
Oh, well, Claxton, I like that Rayman collection 1, 2, 3. That'd be awesome.
oh yeah, that it's weird that that's not already a thing. Um, that said, I mean, you never know what Ubisoft is doing with Rayman anymore.
No.
Nintendo had to come in and save him with sparks of hope,
Yeah.
but he wasn't
Yeah, for
allowed to be
sure.
with Mario.
There you go, Bolt Mouse. Tekken and Soul Calibur collections.
I I want a Soul Calibur 2 re-release so bad with
One that has Link because we
one
got a
that
re-release, but nobody paid attention to it.
and that's why cuz no Link. It'd be cool if there was a Nintendo Switch version that got Link as well as the other crossover characters if they could make that happen. But I'd settle for just Link. Like
Yeah.
you I would buy it. I would buy the game by itself for that. Release it on the eShop, $20, I'm in.
Yeah. Be cool. But that's what makes Soul Calibur so tricky to re-release because you're not going to get those Star Wars characters back for 4. You're not going to get
Yeah.
who got God knows how many crossover things.
Spawn.
Yeah. It's
um
tough.
Bisei King Games says Dragon Quest Collection. That kind of is already happening in a way.
Kinda. I would love to see 4, 5, and 6 get some love.
I mean, they could keep going with HD2D, all, 1 through 6. Well, I guess 7 is technically 3D, isn't it?
Technically, but if you look at the original the PS1 version, it definitely looks like a not as good version of the HD 2D GQ3. But they did make it full 3D for the one on the remake on 3DS.
3DS. Well, maybe they could throw that one in too. Yeah, just I don't even think you need to release them as collections. I think 5, 6, and 7 could even be released on their own, even though they are technically their own trilogy. Or excuse me, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, they could do it like they did the first 3 Dragon Quest games. I'm shocked they haven't done that yet because they just took the mobile versions and put them in there. And it's like, you know what, that'll do. But nope, haven't
I
done
would
that
just
yet.
like a version of Dragon Quest V playable on a console.
Would be nice. It would be
Uh,
very nice.
I earlier this year I played through Dragon Quest IV, the 3DS remake, which I loved. And then I went ahead and started playing Dragon Quest V, which I was also really enjoying, but I was just kind of getting tired of playing on my 3DS.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I just had a thought. It'd be really. Oh, I just like had was like, ooh, that, and then I just lost it. Like, damn it. Hate when that happens. But obviously, there's still a bunch of old games that'd be wonderful to see again. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. We're getting these sequels to the Capcom fighting collections. Why not a sequel to the Capcom beat 'em up collection? Because Capcom has a lot
Oh,
more beat 'em ups they can pull from, and I know a lot of people, if they could pull it off, it feels impossible, but if they could pull it off, um, getting Alien versus Predators beat 'em up re-released, people would go nuts for that.
I feel like with how Capcom has been going with these collections lately, the fact that a second fighting collection is even happening at all, I feel like that's the tell
Got
right there.
3 fighting collections at this point. Like,
Oh,
holy
true.
crap!
Yeah. I feel like the writing's on the wall that more of this stuff is coming. Um,
Yeah, you know, I wonder. Do you think Capcom would announce a new Darkstalkers in October?
That would
because
be
the
insane.
first fighting collection did very well. People are dying for a new Darkstalkers. These guys at Capcom, the fighting division, really like, or really do love the legacy at this point. I don't know. You put Morgan in 3D, if it's stylized, but I feel like that could.
I
I feel
guess
like that's not impossible.
I guess where I would question it is like, do they have the resources to carry a second fighting game? Obviously, Street Fighter 6 will be their core game that they put all their focus into, but I don't know.
I think they do, if only because SNK does. Because SNK announced that not only do we
That's
have
true.
City of the Wolves coming, they're making a new Art of Fighting,
Yeah.
which is nuts. And I think they're making a new like, uh, it's not Bushido Blade. It's their sword fighting game, feudal fighting game series. Why am I blanking on
Sancho?
it? Samurai Showdown. It's getting a new RPG, I believe.
Oh, an
Oh,
RPG?
yeah. There's actually been one before.
Oh, I didn't
It was-
know that.
I only found out about it because Matt McMuscles played it on his gameplay channel, but it's a Sam Show RPG where you pick different characters and each have their own sort of mini stories, kind of like live from like I assume like kind of like Live Alive because they only showed one character, and then you can actually choose whether to have the special moves be selected like a typical RPG or actually put in the commands from the
Oh,
fighting games.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
It seemed pretty sweet. Plus, you got those SNK sprites. It looked pretty awesome.
Game Belt brought up one that I'd love. Wario Land Collection.
Yeah,
1 through 4, the Virtual Boy game, and Shake It. And I don't know if they'd go this far, but I'd love it if 1 through 4 got the Shake It art style treatment.
ooh, they probably wouldn't go that far, but it would be nice. But Brandon, you forgot all about Master of Disguise.
We can leave that one at home. No, I said it earlier. We gotta credit the
If you can
bad
make it
games
good.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But man, that is an ugly game. Have you ever like I've never played it myself,
yeah.
but I've watched
I
it.
never played it, but I've seen screenshots and whatnot. It's like, ooh.
Why are they just using generic ass Wario render in that game? It looks bad. Oh,
I have no idea.
but
It's sad.
we've kind of come up on the hour here, so I think we should probably wrap up here.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's about time. But this was fun. I like just when we have these conversations. We got to talk about our kids, but then we got to talk about just all these random things. It's
Two
fun.
dads have a
I got-
podcast. That's what
Yeah,
it
two
is.
dads have a podcast, and then I convinced one to play Castlevania.
There you go. Derrick won. Derrick has
I did win.
he won the podcast.
I did. I'm still like I can't believe my footage froze during the reveal of the Dominus collection.
It's so funny that it happened like that.
I didn't know until after the whole presentation that the freaking Haunted Castle Revisited even existed.
I kind of like tuned out to what was happening in the trailer because I was just too amazed that you dropped out during Castlevania of all things.
I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I just got to get back. Oh, it's just like, I was sad. I was sad. Oh gosh, but yes, we probably should end off the podcast now. But thank you all so much for joining us. It really is a lot of fun doing these each and every week. Love chatting with all of you. Of course, all the wonderful people here. Of course, got to give an extra special thank you to our producers. Really do make this show happen. Really couldn't happen without all of you. Thank you so much for the support to the Patreon. And of course, an extra special thank you to all of our executive producers, and those include Brandon Bovia, Fangs, Z Patty, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Blake, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Geeky Griffin, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Andrew Medeiros, Darchi, Becca, Essex08, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Escron 809, Rioner, Benji Bearpup, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Rosa Pardo Bowling. Hey, Steve's mom. Darkstill 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, Derrick, Colin, Blaystar 25, Twilord, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Heel, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, Jim Wakelin, Aramis Baramis, Lord Metarex, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat EV Person 5, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Ryan Hanley, Somnia, The Game Jamie, Zombie Joe, and Marathon Max. Thank you all so much for joining us as Brandon shows off his DBZ card collection. Just what a wild lineup of characters you've got there. Thank you all so much for joining us. Of course, be sure to keep an eye out for all of our PAX West coverage from Steve, Ash, and Daniel. And we'll see you next week for episode, I believe, 115 of the GVG cast. Till next time, good night and good vibes.
Bye, y'all.
Yay.